It's billed as a stallion-making race, and well, Redout's getting over the top of Testarossa. They both became champion stallions. The mighty one in Lonhro storming down the outside. If you own the winner of the Caulfield Guineas and you've got a beautifully bred colt like All Too Hard, you are set for an incredible career at stud, and you're probably worth, Bruce, $30 million.
It's mouth-watering, isn't it? And today, a double banger. So that, as well as that Cox Plate connection. And these 4 colts remain in the Cox Plate. There are only 16 horses still in the Cox Plate in a fortnight's time. And these 4, so it'll be absolutely pivotal to see exactly how they run today. You don't have to win the Caulfield Guineas. You think about, so you think for one, to win a Cox Plate. And the long shots, Richo, they've been remarkable, haven't they, in this race?
They certainly have. I mean, Aberidi was an absolute blowout. 1952 is way before my time with Bayside, but I do remember Mighty Boss coming up on the inside for Michael Walker and Mick Price.
Got a big part to play. Could he do what his father did so spectacularly a few years back? Back with the Guineas and also back to Rose Hill Gardens after this. Over the Hawks and Zach Lloyd with a treble. All the colour of a big day here at Caulfield. Terrific crowd. It's Guineas Day, a 3-year-old race with such a storied history.
Since it was first run in 1881 for a purse of 200 sovereigns, the Caulfield Guineas has been one of the most storied races on the Australian calendar. The 1600-metre contest for 3-year-olds has an honour roll featuring Tulloch, Manicato and Mahogany.
Mahogany from Port Watcher, Friedman Quinella.
The last filly to win the race, Surround, in 1976.
And Surround's going to win the Caulfield Guineas by 2.5 lengths.
Later made history as the first filly to win the Cox Plate.
But Surround, the mighty champion, is striding right away.
Bart Cummings won 5 Guineas, including in 2005.
When they turned, God's Own got flattened again. Into the
When God's Own was severely checked mid-race before making a stunning comeback.
A remarkable performance. God's Own has won the Guineas. I've never seen anything like it. He's got a...
The Guineas is renowned as a stallion-making race. Legendary sire Lonhro won in 2001.
Pure Theatre and Lonhro. Ocky's little boy's taken the lead, Lonhro, and pulls away to win the Guineas.
While in 1999,
Redout's Choice jumped well on the
2
inside.
future star stallions fought out an epic.
It's Testarossa clear though. Redout's Choice is coming again. Testarossa has to find Redout's ditch. He lunges and wins. Redout's Choice beat Testarossa. A magnificent Guineas.
Such memories, and James, one of the keys today are that a lot of the fancied runners are drawn out wide at the 1600 metres at Caulfield. And what makes it even double jeopardy is that it's been a front runner's track so far. So what do jockeys like James McDonald on Woden, Mark Zara on Vinrock and Blake Shin on Nepotism do today from the draw?
Well, it will be interesting to see how that unfolds for them. You know, from one perspective, James McDonald wants to blend in, and perhaps it sounds like he's happy to be in the 3-wide line, not too far away. Chris Wallace said earlier in the week he'd love Woden ridden a bit quieter. I think back to Piero working hard up the hill and going down as favourite to All Too Hard in the Caulfield Guineas when he drawn wide. So drawing wide doesn't necessarily have to be the end of your chances. You know, horses like Animo, Lonhro, as long as you're not overtaxing yourself and spending your energy recklessly in the first half of the race.
Okay, so good guide there from the score. Woden here, so he's looking for that big breakthrough. He's a winner and debut, but he hasn't got that big Group 1. Are there some comparisons, do you reckon, with your Animo, who came here, I know, as a Group 1 winner, but they've been placed in a couple of similar races, Golden Slippers and Golden Roses. Animo, of course, was a fantastic 3-year-old and even better 4-year-old, but on this day, he showed so much power to win a Caulfield Guineas. What do you reckon, eh? Is there any comparison, do you reckon?
Well, look, he's a beautiful horse. He's very, very well bred. He was highly sought after as a yearling. So, look, I can see where you place in a Golden Slipper. It's a bit like you said earlier. The Caulfield Guineas has got all these good form races from their 2-year-old seasons. Second in the Slipper, the winner of the Sires Produce in Sydney, the winner of the Champagne in Sydney. They're all here in this race. So, you know, the Guineas has assembled those good autumn 2-year-olds. And it's now an opportunity for one of those horses to stand up and prove to be the Guineas champion.
And we saw those jockeys that are trying and trainers to win their very first Group 1. So the story's a lot about colts that are going to go to the Cox Plate perhaps. And Craig Williams, can he continue a golden spring with a 5th Group 1 this spring? Chris Waller and Damien Lane, who combined last year to win it, they go with Autumn Boy here. Could they make it 2 in a row? What about Team Hawks? If they were to win, they would equal the all-time record. Your grandfather's part of that with 5 Guineas wins as trained. And what about J-Mac? If he wins, he equals the record for a jockey that stood for 136 years. Tom Hales in 1889 won his 3rd Caulfield Guineas. It's been equalled, but not broken in all that time. So there's the trophy and the $3 million that goes with it. Off to you.
Well, Daniel Stackhouse, wouldn't it be awesome to win a Group 1, mate? We keep talking about it because we're desperate for you to do it, but you might have the right horse.
Yeah, hopefully. Obviously, awkward barrier, but we'll see how we go.
Okay, you'll roll forward.
Not telling you.
Okay, please. Good luck.
Thank you.
Interesting stuff there as we come into the mounting yard. Rivellino talked about the barrier. He was a high-class 2-year-old, wasn't he, James? He's going okay, I think.
Yeah, look, he's one of these 2-year-olds that has earned a lot of prize money, and he's back here as a 3-year-old, but he's gone winless this preparation. He does need to lift. Is this the race for him to do so in?
Wotan, it's sort of a D-Day in a way, don't you think?
Well, that might be fair, particularly if he gets conditions run to suit perfectly. It was a good building effort in track record Golden Rose. He's been winless since his debut. His first time at 1,600 metres. He looks a bit of a miler. There's a lot to like about him. He's another winless 3-year-old, despite having that great form running second in a Golden Slipper.
Well, Vinrock has won as a 3-year-old, but his last start wasn't what they wanted. But he's won 2 size produce as a 2-year-old.
Sure. The problem, he's only 1 out of 3 this prep, so that's why we're talking about an open Guineas, despite all these good 2-year-olds coming back from the autumn in this race. He stubbed his toe as favourite last start in the Bill start. He was excellent beating West of Swindon at Flemington the start before. He's going to be strong in a line of horses. You've seen that in the past in this size produce in Sydney.
Nepotism, well, how do we mark him? Is this the first race he's had a big chance in, do you think?
Well, that's fair. I mean, it's his first time back to 1,600 since winning the Champagne. He gets the winkers off, so the Hawks are trying something a little different. He never got warm in that track record run Golden Rose. Look, it was an exciting victory in the Group 1 Champagne Stakes. You'd have to think back to that.
West of Swindon won the start. Kieran Mars had a horse win the start and win a Caulfield Guineas. We know he went forward on that occasion and led and held on courageously, so they'll probably do the same thing. He's got a wide draw, so how much does Ben use him up? Look, he's a well-bred horse, but he's a Wootton Bassett and all of that. So here's High Vol, not in the gloaming, coming here at long odds.
Yes, and a little bit to do from that draw. Declan Bates is going to have a task set for him, but he's a talented horse. He's by a microphone, and from his first start in a race, Nick Ryan thought he had a very good horse on his hands. Here he is in a Guineas. It's a lot to ask of him, but it'll be interesting to see whether he's up to this sort of challenge.
Only 2 horses don't come through either the Golden Rose, the start of the period, and this is one of them, Navy Pilot.
Yes, and it is hard to imagine that a horse outside of those form races is going to be the right horse. However, you just got to keep coming back to that feeling that if it is such an open Guineas, that some of these horses could pop up and surprise you.
Autumn Boy, there was a very big rap on him at the start of the spring. It hasn't quite happened for him yet.
No, that's fair enough, and he's second in the Ming Dynasty. Hasn't really stacked up as a form race, but I can't help but go back to his run in the Golden Rose. He was off the track all the way. They ran it so fast, he didn't really have a chance to show himself in a good light. Now he gets barrier 1. Polar opposite. He'll get run of the race stuff and he gets his opportunity.
Space Rider, both his wins, Jones, have been win fresh. Now he's getting deeper into a preparation, but his last start was pretty good actually.
Yeah, he's warming to the task, but does the Guineas Prelude really warm the heart as a right form race for the Caulfield Guineas? The winner ran in Sydney.
He ran okay. He ran third in Sydney, but it does look a level below, doesn't it? Prestige Ollie's going to be at long odds. He was a nice 2-year-old, but it's hard to see him returning to winning form after being at the end of the field in the Stut Stakes. Hillier was third in that Stut Stakes at long odds. He's at long odds here today for Luke Curry. He's only ride today. Annabelle and Rob Archibald put the shine on him. He's a nice colt, but you would think that it might be a bridge too far for him. Stay Cosmic was 5th in a Prelude. He ran 2nd in the Mackenzie. That was still with Hillier here. So here's Stay Cosmic. So again, a good day for the Philip Stocks, of course. He's having a great season, isn't he? He's a fine trainer, we know that.
Yeah, he's a terrific trainer, and good to see. Look, it's good to consider horses from different form lines, but I'm still struggling to go around the obvious. This horse, he's going to need a few things to go his way. He's by a sprinting sire. Be interesting to see if he can stretch that to a mile.
Price Kent have already had a Group 1. This horse was $2.50 favourite in the prelude.
He was a lot more was expected of him, but they went no gallop in that Caulfield Guineas prelude, in fairness to him, and he was a few lengths off them. He hooked widest, and he was sound through the line. So you've got to give him that. He's out of a Helmet mare who did win a Caulfield Guineas.
He looks a bit like Helmet, actually. This, I think, is almost the most interesting horse, certainly in that lower level, don't you think, Romantic Encounter?
A fascinating horse. It was a significant leap into the Group 2 set weights. Bill started his second race start. He didn't handle the Valley the best, and it was his first go up to a mile, but now that he's had that run over a mile, if the star colts are vulnerable, he might be there ready to pounce.
And Observer, who you should know pretty well.
He's a talented horse. His second up 5-length win last preparation has to be taken account of. He trialled against Pride of Jenny before an excellent return against the older horses in the midweeks. 3-year-olds find it hard in the midweeks, and they're better off back against their own age up in this time of the year. It's a lot to ask of him, but if he goes forward and they leave him alone, this day's unfolding in such a way that a horse like Observer could give a bit of a sight at the big odds.
Sportsbet's market mover, Matt, for the Caulfield Guineas.
Bruce Wotan has run second in 2 Group 1s, but the Sportsbet punters are backing in the big guns here. Coolmore, McDonald and Waller to get that Group 1 victory on the board. He's into $2.90.
So Kieran Maher has 3 runners. Kieran, great to see you. West of Swindon, with the way the track's playing, do you continue on to roll forward with him?
Yeah, the race shape's a bit different than he drew the pole at Moonee Valley. He's drawn the outside here, but I think we do roll forward, and I think he's come on from the run. There is a lot more pressure here
Who's
today.
your best pick here?
Yeah, I love this colt, and after drawing barrier 1, if he can get the luck at the right time when he needs it to come into the race, to jump off the fence, if that's the way it's playing out, I think he is the horse to be on and emulate his sire in the Autumn Sun.
Would be very special to see him do that, and he's so similar, Bruce, to his sire, the Autumn Sun. I also am with him as well on top. Hopefully he can get the job done.
So you are very much Sydney form. Last couple of years, the last run has come out of Victoria, even though Private Life, of course, with Chris Waller. But are you feeling the Golden Rose form is the right form, James?
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Great credit and respect has to be given to those that have had the run over a mile. But that Golden Rose was just running such a solid pace, good even splits all the way. Those horses have to be better for it, and you couldn't help but think, therefore, Wotan would be the one.
So you think he might be the one? And just very quickly, where do you think he might be in the run? Midfield or closer?
I'm going to stay out of that. I don't know what's going to happen, because I feel like the trainer and the jockey might be pulling in different directions, and then the track bias just throws a spanner in the works. So
no, that's fair enough.
Interesting to see how that. Think about the Autumn Sun. He just sat wide and pulled away from them. They didn't worry about the track.
No, it's fair enough. It's so difficult at any time. And today there's extra things to think about. There's so much at stake. You think about this race, there is so much at stake. It's $3 million in prize money, and it could be tens of millions of dollars for the right colt to win this race. It remains one of the probably 3 or 4 most important races in this country in terms of a stallion. You think about the Golden Slipper and the Caulfield Guineas over the years, and obviously the Coolmore start, and there'll be other races that we could throw up. But this is still so important. Here's Matty Hill for his call.
Prestige Olay still wanting to lift. A hang on from Harry. Field set for the Guineas. Ready, all clear, and they're racing. Prestige Olay, after all of that, jumped away pretty well. Rivellino out quickly. Navy Pilot not too far off the lead. West of Swindon's going to sweep across with Vinrock, and also speed towards the outside by Hillier. Up the hill, West of Swindon led from Hillier second. Observer third, the inside, followed by Vinrock. A length and 3/4, Autumn Boy, Rivellino. 2 further back, Navy Pilot, Prestige Olay as they spread out. Planet Red behind those horses, and then came Wotan outside of Romantic Encounter. 2 further back in the field, settling down off the back, Space Rider, and then came along the inside, Nepotism, High Vol second last, and at the tail of the field, Stay Cosmic a long way off the lure. West of Swindon to the side of the track, 800 metres to go in the Guineas, just led from the outside, Hillier, 2 lengths Observer, Vinrock, 3 further back, Rivellino, Autumn Boy, a length and 1/4, Navy Pilot, Prestige Olay, Planet Red, Romantic Encounter. Wotan has 12 legs to pick up, 2 legs, Space Rider, Nepotism, Nepotism, and then a long gap in the field to High Vol and Stay Cosmic as they come around the home corner now. They've got 400 metres to go in the Guineas, and the front runner Western Swindon, followed by Hilly at the outside. Next in the field, trying to angle for a run as Observer up on the inside as they reach the 250. It got really tight. Finrock's joining in. Autumn Boy down the outside from Navy Pilot. Here's Autumn Boy dropping on them. Planet Red from a long way back. Autumn Boy at the 100 metres. Planet Red trying hard, but it's Autumn Boy, a star in October. Autumn Boy, 3/4, Planet Red, Observer. Gee, it got tight at the top of the straight. Vinrock behind those horses, then Navy Pilot, Rivellino, Nepotism. Behind them, Hillier, and then came Wotan, Never In It. West of Swindon, next in the field, Romantic Encounter, High Vol. Well back, Space Rider last, Prestige Olay.
Well, that barrier helped. It was a great ride. He jumped well, James. He was in the first half a dozen. He had the fence. He had to barge his way through at the top of the straight, Damien Lane, and he was able to do it. And he was very strong late, wasn't he?
He was strong late. He travelled sweetly throughout, and the first rider to get the gap won the race. I wonder whether Ethan Brown felt like he might have had a bit to offer there on Observer, who was travelling pretty sweetly, but when that horse went for his run, Observer, Damien Lane had extricated himself away from the rail. He got himself into the clear, and he had plenty of horse in the tank. I mean, he's come from the Golden Rose, and he is the form. That's the form for this race every year.
And the Autumn Sun, of course. So, Richo, for Chris Waller, it must be so many memories that flood back, but this is a huge day for him, a 4th Caulfield Guineas, and the son of one that did it for him as well.
4th Caulfield Guineas, Chris. Congratulations. Does it mean a little more when it's the son of one that's been here before for you?
Yeah, I guess it does, yeah. You know, we're proud of all the horses that goes through the stables, but yeah, when they're champions like the Autumn Sun and then you get to train their sons and daughters, it's pretty special. Last week, Autumn Glow, and now it's Super Colt with Autumn Boy. It's pretty special.
Well, we saw how good he was in Queensland, and then this was the race that you always identified from there?
Yeah, that looked his race. Yeah, we like just to identify talent and then try and get them to that big ticket item. And today's such an important race in any horse's career, but a colt. It announces them on the big stage, and obviously owners invest a lot of money. And yeah, Glenn Ritchie and his wife, they've been so supportive of us, Charlie and myself. They've become good friends of ours, and yeah, kept investing, and yeah, we've managed to buy them a really nice horse.
Yeah, by gee, you covered a lot of ground in that Golden Rose. Were you concerned coming out of that?
Not really, no. It was a track record time. Full credit to the winner. He led them up and won, and yeah, the back markers just didn't quite get into the race because they were just running so quick. So no, we didn't lose faith, and yeah, the ratings people and our form guys said he's the one. And sure enough, they're right.
And that inside barrier certainly helped today. Great ride from Damien Lane. One of 4 colts still in the Cox Plate. That's a big tick. Do you head that way?
Not sure. I don't normally because they're still babies. Yeah. He's only had sort of 4 or 5 starts, I think. So it'd be unlikely for us, but see what comes out of the next week. You've got the luxury of just sitting tight, and he's not overly raced. So you can do it, but have to see how good VS16 is going.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I might ask his trainer. I'm asking her trainer one day about that. But congratulations, Chris. Wonderful performance.
Thanks very much. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Damien, you've put yourself in the history books there, and you go back to back with this very time-honoured race on a horse that we're all a bit scared of, these Sydney Raiders coming down, and that's why.
Yeah, beautiful colt. Just takes everything in his stride, very easy to deal with, and a great turn of foot when needed. So you need that to win these big races, and when he joined in, he really joined in.
Now run me through the race. Were you confident throughout?
Yeah, I had a great run. I was able to use my barrier. Speed was good, and just found myself in a bit of a tricky spot in the corner, but once I navigated that, he put the race away pretty quick. So as I said, very easy horse to handle, and as a result, had a nice run.
What do celebrations look like tonight?
Pretty quiet. Riding pretty light at Seymour tomorrow, so I'll have to save it for another night.
Life of a jockey, but well done. That was an absolutely outstanding ride.
Thank you very much.
Good stuff from Damien Lane. So, Katie, let's go back to the start of the race. He drew the right barrier. You were all over this horse, and he got this start that he needed, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly right. He just was given a little squeeze just to find a spot, but not out of his comfort zone. They really did roll along in this. We did see a lot of these horses from the outside barrier. The jockeys make initiatives to go forward, and there was just so much pressure, but he was 3 back the fence. And one thing that no doubt would have been running through his mind, I would have imagined, is that how am I going to work my way off the fence, and hopefully that it all opens up, Bruce, because we know that barrier 1 can sometimes bring some bad luck. But so obviously Damien Lane, he saw what was happening and he worked his way out. Unfortunately for Observer and Ethan Brown, he was stuck in the box seat and he just could not get out. So I think he was very unlucky.
Yeah, he's third at this stage, Katie. So, and James, you mentioned him as well. So in the Godolphin Blue, so he sits in third place, and you can see Autumn Boy. Now this is where James Damien's got to get off the fence here, Damien Lane. So he's still in 5th place on the inside of Rivellino. I want to keep an eye on Nepotism, by the way. He's third last, just from a Cox Plate point of view as well. So here's the big move from Damien Lane. Observer still can't get out. West of Swindon leads into the straight. Jamie Carr tries to keep Frosty in, can't quite do it, and that was the winning move for him, wasn't it?
It was the winning move, and you know, he was 3 back the fence, but he was happy to be there because it meant that he had more opportunity to find a gap when he needed to find a gap. Wotan was following the second place getter, Planet Red. That horse had the opportunity to run on better, but Planet Red was superb. Observer, he might have caught the attention of a few onlookers. He might be a Derby horse. He's by Gaiath. Gaiath had a couple of runners in the race. He's a young stallion going somewhere, but I think Arrowfield have had a pretty good day, haven't they? They Snitzel side, the winner of the Toorak, and the Autumn Sun has got his Guineas winner in his first crop.
Well, one thing we know, that the Caulfield Guineas winner, so it's only 4 from 40, but, you know, so you think ran 5th in this Caulfield Guineas and went on to win. Chris was humming and ahhing there. He's got a lot to think about, hasn't he? He can bring this horse back as a 4-year-old and run on the Cox Plate next year. You've also got the Golden Eagle as a 4-year-old to think about as well. So there's all those things. So it'll be interesting because Moonee Valley will want a 3-year-old in that Cox Plate desperately, won't they, James?
And good that Richo asked him that question. I imagine that Chris Waller would have shut that down a bit quicker, but he left the door ajar, and that might make the race a little bit more interesting.
Is he in Anamo's class? Now, Anamo is a 3-year-old, won the Guineas and lost a sensational protest in a Cox Plate. Is he in Anamo's class?
Well, put it this way: the Autumn Sun didn't go to the Cox Plate as a 3-year-old, and he was as impressive, if not more. But he was racing Winks that year. He would have had to bump into Winks. This horse won't. It looks pretty open, that Cox Plate this year, so it might be a very tempting opportunity for the connections.
Katie, what do you think? Would you run him in a Cox Plate or not? I mean, you love this horse.
Yeah, I think, as James Cummings just said, it's not that the race lacks a little bit of depth. I think it's the right probably year to do it. He's just so promising, isn't he? I just love him. He's just a proper racehorse, and I definitely think he would run a good race in the Cox Plate, Bruce.
Yeah, he was powerful to the line. All that to play out, Katie and James. So the big headline moments of the day. Let's start with the Caulfield Guineas, Richo. It doesn't get any bigger or better than that on this day.
Yeah, so the son of the Autumn Sun, called Autumn Boy, with a gun ride, sure helped by an inside barrier, but Damien Lane got out at the right time and just accelerated away like a proper colt and gives Chris Waller a little headache. Do you go towards a Cox Plate when there's only maybe 6 runners in it? He doesn't normally do it with a 3-year-old. He might do it with this one.
And what about Blake Shin on Globe, Katie?
Awesome, wasn't he? And sometimes you just forget about the leader, and that's what they did here, Treasure the Moment and Buckaroo, and he was off and gone. A tremendous ride from Blake Shin, rode with confidence, and he loved every bit of it, and so did those owners. It's a big night tonight, no doubt, for the connections of Globe. Bruce?
Oh, look at the celebrations, Macca. Michael Kent right in the middle of it all with all his mates, and importantly, his wife was in the ownership. This was another good ride, wasn't it?
Brilliant in the Toorak. So it was Zara, Shin and Lane, 8 of the 4 in Melbourne in the Group 1s. Just hanging on, Transatlantic, for Tony Gollan to bring up that second Toorak to go with the one last year. So that was outstanding. And then Tony, as I said, they could have played for the Wallabies or the Broncos, those blokes. Zara picked it so well. And the Hill Stakes, well, Nash did something similar, didn't he?
He certainly did, Katie. This was a brilliant ride by Nash, just dictating in front with a horse who loves it.
Yeah, he didn't get there straight away like he likes to do, but Nash just got him there out of his own accord in a beautiful rhythm, and he gets a really well-deserved victory in the Hill Stakes. He's a gorgeous horse, and what a connection that he has with him as he gets a pat down. And tell you what, Bruce and Richo, must have been hard to try and give the votes today.
It was tough, but I decided to phone a friend. Macca, you're in the hot seat.
Well, I've gone for Chris Waller. I mean, mainly because of this and Lindemann, but why not? I mean, to produce the colt like he did. I thought Shin's ride on Globe was the highlight of the day in terms of a ride. And Clayton Douglas, a little bit from the heart there, but to do what he did with Giga Kick. So they're the 3, 2 and 1. So as we look to the final event here, this is what's happened so far at Caulfield today. And you'll see the great horses with the trainers, and also...
He's on Channel 7.
On the one day, you have two of, I think, a handful of the most important and famous races in this country, in harmony with one another.
The fastest horses in the land compete in the Everest.
Think about it! Think about it, won the Everest!
And then you've got the best stayers in the land going down to compete in the handicap in the Caulfield Cup.
Without a fight for the Caulfield Cup!
Our best day in Australian racing. It is epic.
That's nirvana.
Two races that are so different, one full of history and full of that tradition and part of that Melbourne spring.
The big field lining up in the Caulfield Cup and the testing 1.5 miles.
And the other brash and new and so Sydney.
The build-up towards the Everest is extraordinary.
It's a really sexy event.
Everest has got a voice of its own.
We celebrate speed.
1,200 metres, fast, dash for cash.
Wait for age for $20 million.
It's a great combination. What a cocktail it is.
Get the popcorn out.